Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good crowd out here today. I'm Tony Duckworth, Director of Athletics here at Northeastern State, and we're excited about introducing our 10th men's basketball coach in Northeastern State University history. You know, when we started the search process several weeks ago, you know, when you start, anytime you go into a coaching search, you start thinking and reflecting on what are the attributes that you're going to be seeking, what are the things and qualities that we need in our next head coach to position us to be highly successful. It's no secret, those of you that have been following our men's basketball program for some time know that we have certainly been underperforming in recent years. And we're in this new incredible facility, which is certainly the top facility in the MIAA, one of the top in the region, and certainly one of the top in the country. And so we feel as though this is an opportunity, if we hire the right person, to get things started and return NSU basketball to the place where we feel like it belongs, and that's competing at a very, very high level. You know, we have a proud history. Those of you that kind of came in, I know people are standing, but you know, just the murals in this room reflect a lot of tremendous history from, you know, the crowd scene on the back wall there when we used to play in Jack Dobbins Fieldhouse, and of course the namesake is in the room as well. You know, we've got a national championship coach here in the back with Larry Gibson, and you see, you know, just a proud history of coaches throughout NSU basketball history that are reflected in this room. You know, and then you look at the league that we're in, the MIAA, and 2 of the last 4 years, our league has crowned the NCAA Division II national champion. So certainly a coach that's interested in wanting to compete in a top-notch conference and has the stuff, if you will, to put us in a position to compete very, very well. You know, when I first came across Mark Downey several weeks ago, in terms of course, I knew who he was for several years. ADs always kind of try to pay attention to those things. And he has a tremendous pedigree in terms of people that are, you know, what tree he kind of falls under. He's got tremendous experience at the Division I level, but more importantly to me is the successes that he's had at NCAA Division II. You know, Division II and Division I are different animals, and that's not always the easiest transition for people to make. You look at the fact that he has been a part of, as head coach, 4 NCAA Division II national tournament appearances. Then you go back and look at his first stop at Arkansas Tech in nearby Russellville, and the challenges that program was under when he inherited that opportunity. And in his 3rd year, they're in the NCAA tournament. His 4th year, they win 30 games. They're ranked number 1 in the country 8 out of 15 weeks. He has been the proud recipient of 6 Coach of the Year honors. So there's just a lot of things that really, really make sense. You know, as I started visiting with him and talking with him, the one thing he understands about as much as anything is this business is, yes, it's about X's and O's, but boy, it's more about the Jimmies and the Joes. He gets recruiting. And boy, it's important that we identify the right players that can compete at this level, and that's something that we're really, really excited about. Well, without further ado, I'd like to introduce NSU's 10th men's basketball head coach, Mark Downey.
Well, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. Larry just informed me that he's got a tea time at noon today, so I'm going to be really quick here so we make sure he makes that. But there's so many people I want to thank. I'm humbled. I'm blessed to be here. It's been 3 seasons since I've been a head coach and made a couple stops at the Division I level, but I'm just really excited to be here. I look forward to meeting all of you. This is a great turnout, and that's exciting for me because that means the people here care and want this program to get back to where it should be. So first of all, my family, I get this one out of the way quickly. I don't really get nervous about speaking in front of people, but the hardest thing for me is to thank them. And sorry, I get a little emotional, but we've had a tough journey the last 3 or 4 years. And I want to thank them for being patient with me and they're my why. They're my why. That's why I wake up every day. So thank you for trusting me, and we've got work to do. So I'm excited for them to be here. Tony, thank you very much for believing in me. I'll forever be indebted to you, and I thank you for believing in me and putting me in charge of this program. And like I said, I'll forever be indebted to you. Dr. Turner, thank you for this tremendous opportunity, and again, believing in me and taking this program to another level. I just can't tell you guys, and I'll say it a ton of times, but how excited I am to be here. Other people that have to thank, so many different people that made this happen throughout my journey. First of all, my parents. My dad passed away about 7 years ago, but my mom, she obviously can't be here. She lives in Scottsdale, Arizona, but she's 89 years old, and she gave me 5 brothers and sisters that were such a great example to me. I was the youngest of 6. My parents were 44 when I was born, so I was kind of 9 or 10 years after the other 5, so I was almost an only child. And the example that those 5 have set for me is unreal, and that's what I'd like to thank my parents for. The work ethic that they instilled in us, the drive that they instilled in us, it's evident by the success that my other brothers and sisters have had in their lives, and what a great example for me. All my mentors, Bobby Huggins, Dave Davis, some guys that I've worked for and gotten to know, and people that have taken care of me in the business. I'd like to thank them. All my former ADs, Stan Williamson, Steve Mullins, Bren Stevens, Tom Nazico, rest in peace. He's not with us anymore. All those guys, Darren Brunson, even going back to my days in junior college at Independence Community College. I'd like to thank all of them for giving me the same opportunity that Tony has given me. I also want to thank all the ADs that have said no to me. All right, I've interviewed for a few jobs in the last 4 or 5 years, and I'd like to thank those people because they help me wake up every day and go to work and have a chip on my shoulder, which we'll get to with you guys as well. All right, so I'd like to thank all of those people. Coach Kaufman at Fort Wayne, Chris Jans at Bowling Green. A couple years ago, I was in a tough spot. I'd like to thank those 2 guys for giving me an opportunity to be an assistant coach for their staffs. But Coach Kaufman bailed me out a couple years ago, and I'd like to thank him as well for giving me the opportunity and learning a lot from him in the last couple years, and Coach Jans as well. And then, guys like Lenny Acuff at Alabama Huntsville. You guys are like, well, what does he have to do with this? Well, Lenny's a mentor of mine as well. We've competed against each other. He's won over 500 games in his career at Alabama Huntsville and some other spots prior to that. But Lenny and I have become good friends, and I know he's friends with Tony, and we have tremendous respect for each other. Coach Gibson and Lenny are very tight as well, and Lenny, helped get this ball rolling with this opportunity. So I'd like to thank him as well. I think I've thanked everybody, but all of you as well for coming up and being part of this today. It's just a big day for our family and a big day for this program, and I'm gonna make some promises to you guys here a little bit later, but I'm proud to be the head coach of such a storied program. I got huge shoes to fill with Hall of Famers such as Larry, Ken Hayes, Coach Dobbins. I mean, just people that have made this program what it is. And you can see all the tradition in this room just on the walls. And I'm proud to be a part of that and proud to be in charge of restoring that tradition. That's very exciting to me. We want to make the Riverhawk Nation proud again on and off the floor. All right? The way we'll play, we're going to be fun to watch. Extremely fun to watch. We're going to take care of the ball. We're going to play extremely fast. We're going to get after it defensively. No one's going to play harder than us. No one in the country is going to play harder than us. And the way I've been, us as coaches, when this thing starts rolling, the first thing you want to think about is you got to get players. You got to get players. So I'm right on the fringe of losing my voice because of that 11-hour drive I made yesterday. How much was I on the phone? The whole time. So I kept having, I felt bad because I kept having to tell him to be quiet, but I was on the phone a lot, and my littlest one likes to be on the phone all the time. He likes to play on my phone and watch movies and stuff, and he couldn't do that yesterday because I was using it the whole time. So I apologize, Drew. Drew woke up this morning, he said, I got to put green on? What do I wear green for? I want to wear yellow. And so we've got some work to do with the but that's good because we're big Steeler fans in our house, so the yellow is okay. That's all right. But we're going to be fun to watch. We're going to play fast. We're going to put a lot of pressure on the ball. I use this analogy. I was getting back to this with recruiting players. Been on the phone trying to explain how we're going to play. And my philosophy's changed slightly. I mean, I'm still going to be the same person that I was at Tech and Charleston and West Alabama. Still going to be the same coach. But I've learned a lot in the last 3 years. Chris Jans, that's now the associate head coach at Wichita State, was my boss at Bowling Green. He's a really good defensive mind. John Kaufman at Fort Wayne is a really good offensive mind. So I got to be under those guys for the last 3 years, and I've tweaked some of the things that I like to do. But the way I've been explaining it to recruits is, if you watch West Virginia, Coach Huggins is a really good friend of mine. You know, he's a matter of fact, he's the one that kind of told me to take this thing and run with it. You know, he said, create your own path. Go back to being your own boss. He said, there's nothing like that. And he, as a matter of fact, when he said he was 23 years old, he was at Ohio State, he figured out real quick that he hated being an assistant. So he went and got a D2 job, and then, you know, the rest is history. But you know, he told me to go find my own path again, and be my own boss, and have my own program, and go do what I do. So I appreciate him for that. But when you watch his teams play so hard. I mean, I salivate when I watch them play. They play so hard defensively that's what I want our teams to play like. I want them to play extremely hard defensively, and then get the ball out and get it up the floor and play fast and play efficient. One of the things I've learned the last 2 years, we were 5th in the country last year in scoring at Fort Wayne. So we were top 10 in the country in offensive efficiency. We were top 10 in the country in three-point field goals made. We were top 10 in the country in three-point field goal percentage. So I've learned a lot the last 2 years about pace of play and taking care of the ball and being very efficient offensively. So we're going to implement that as well. And hopefully those two things, playing with that amount of pressure defensively and playing that hard, and then playing well efficiently on the offensive end, is what we want to do. And that's what we're going to implement here. We're going to force our opponents to speed up. That's what we want to do. We want to force our opponents to speed up, and on both ends. And that's putting pressure on both ends of the floor. And the word relentless comes to mind. Relentless. That is my word. That is a word I've used ever since I became a head coach at Independence Community College back in 1999. All right, a while back. Relentless. That is our word. We want to be relentless on and off the floor. All right. We're going to try to have depth. Obviously, when you want to play that fast and you want to play with that much effort, you need a lot of depth. You need 9, 10, 11 guys to play. So we're going to look for depth and try to bring in that type of player, a person that wants to buy into playing that hard. There's some people that just, you know, they talk about playing fast, but they don't understand what playing fast means. And we want to try to find those individuals. Toughness will be another thing that we look for in our recruits. Toughness. Guys, again, that are willing to buy in and do what we need to do every day. 6 things that we talk about with our players, and I appreciate them being here today. We've got them all here. Montrey's here, Colton, Scott, and Tanner. Thank you guys for coming, but this is as much for them as anybody. We talk about 6 things. The first thing we look for and the first thing we want out of our players are great people with high character. Okay? Great people with high character. That doesn't mean we're not going to maybe every once in a while take a kid that needs a second chance. But we want to make sure that they, in their heart, that they know what we expect and what kind of character. We want to be polite. We want to be enthusiastic. And we'll get to a little bit of that later. Appreciative. All right? Accountable. This is huge with me. This might be the most important one of these 6. Accountability. It's an everyday thing. From the moment you step on campus to the moment you leave, you're going to be accountable for your actions, your teammates' actions, the program, and the university as a whole. And it's never going to let up. One of my former assistants, Wes Corkins, I was talking to him. He was with me at Arkansas Tech. He's now a high school coach in Arkansas at El Dorado. And he told me a bunch of coaches were sitting around one night at a camp, and they started talking about their former coaches and former bosses and all this stuff. And someone asked, Wes, why is Mark Downey so good? Why does he win? And Wes told the group that because it's an everyday thing. From the bottom guy, from the manager, from the last person on the bench, to the best player on the team, everybody's treated the same and everybody's held to the same standard. And I believe wholeheartedly in that. Accountability is huge with me. All right? Huge. The third one we've already talked about. We're going to be relentless on and off the floor. We're going to tackle academics. We're going to tackle practice. Everything we do, we're going to be relentless every day. We're going to be committed to getting better every day. That's the fourth one. Committed to getting better every day. We don't take days off. There'll be days when I walk in and I'm going to come in enthusiastic and excited and happy to be there every day. But it's up to them if that changes or not. And there's some days when they're not going to be right and we're going to leave and we're going to come back later. And if we don't do it then, we're going to come back later. If we don't do it then, we're going to come back the next morning. We're not going to waste a day of practice. It's not going to happen. All right? Same thing with academics. Same thing in the community. Every day. We're going to be committed to getting better. All right? This is a huge one too. We're going to deserve what we get, and we're going to deserve what we tolerate. And those two things are huge. You deserve your success. There's no doubt about it. That's a big Rick Pitino thing. You deserve it. And you know it. You subconsciously know it. If you don't deserve to win, you subconsciously know it. And we're going to prepare our teams to be successful every day. It's an everyday thing. We're also going to learn from our failures. That's a big part of deserving what you get. You learn from your failures and you try to get better. Hopefully we'll have a lot more successes than we will failures. The next part of that is we're going to get what you tolerate, and that's policing yourselves. When you bring in guys with good, high character, all right, they hold each other accountable when they police themselves and they get what they tolerate, and that's on me too. If I tolerate people sliding by, that's going to seep into our program, and we're not going to let that happen. The last one, and this is with this generation, and people say it's a little bit different than it used to be. I don't always agree with that, but we're going to be appreciative and enthusiastic, and we're not going to be entitled. That's what we're going to recruit. We're going to recruit guys that are excited to play, that want to get better, that show up every day, that pick up their teammates, that bring their teammates with them. If a guy's having a bad day, he brings them with him. We're gonna bring in those kind of guys to our program. People that are appreciative, people that know how to shake a good hand, people that know how to introduce themselves, to speak with other people and be social on campus. You know, I talk to our guys all the time. I don't want to walk across campus and see guys with headphones in, looking in their phone and walking across campus without communicating with other people. This is huge with me. It happens all the time now. We're a generation where we just stare at our phone all the time and we don't know what's going on around us. And I want our guys to get away from that. There's a time and a place for that. When they walk across campus, when I was in school, when you walked by somebody on campus, on the sidewalk, wherever it may be, you said hello. You asked them how they were doing that day. And that doesn't happen anymore. Everyone's in their phones. Everyone's worried about what's going on in this little scope right here. And we want to change that. We want to change that. So I'm excited to be here, excited to restore the tradition and bring the Riverhawks back to not only MIAA prominence, but national prominence. Everywhere we've been, and I like to say we, I try not to say I too much because it's a team effort. Everybody in this room, everybody in my family, everybody on our team, from the top to the bottom. It's a we thing. It's a we thing. And I'm excited to bring us back to MIAA prominence and national prominence. It's been there. It's been done. There's guys in the back of the room that have proven that this can be done on this campus. And now we've got this beautiful building. We've got a lot of interest, obviously, in this program. And I'm excited to get it rolling and get going. I'm extremely grateful. I'm extremely thankful. I appreciate the opportunity. We have a workout today at 1:15, and I invite all of you to come. All of you to come. If you want to come watch us work out, we're going to put the team through a workout for 45 minutes to an hour, and you're welcome to come sit in on that and watch that workout and start to see how we're going to lay the foundation.